Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and coming to the show today. This is going to be a really good and very beneficial show if you are a professional speaker or if you are looking into getting into speaking. This is very important. First off, I just want to say there's a lot of really good speakers out there. There's a lot of really good talks out there that aren't being heard because the right people aren't getting on stage, right? So, this is something I first noticed when I started getting into the industry and warming up to this idea of getting into speaking. There was a lot of people that were very close to success, but not quite capturing it. And when I first started my journey into speaking, I took a speaking program. I've actually taken a few, and I noticed there was a deficit on what was being taught to speakers and really how to get into the industry in a quick way. And also that there was a deficit in the branding that was taught and the marketing that was taught and the networking that was taught in these programs that's essential for getting into speaking, especially getting into speaking the most effective and efficient way that saves you time and money in the end. And ultimately, that starts with brand strategy and positioning. Let me repeat that one more time. In order to save you the most amount of time and energy and money, it requires brand strategy and positioning upfront. There's no two ways about it. That's what it requires in order to get into speaking. So, what does that look like, right? Well, think about it. If you're applying to an engagement to speak, if you're sending an email to somebody you've never talked to, which in the case if you're especially new to the industry, is something that's going to happen. Nobody's heard of you yet, right? Their first impression of you is formed in 5 seconds. So, if you send a meeting planner or an event organizer or coordinator an email or some type of marketing material, right? Some type of sales material, and your brand is judged in 5 seconds, it seems to be very advantageous for you to show up right the first time, right? So that goes with anything, but it's especially important for professional speakers. This allows you to either get successful in the industry to where your name is synonymous with your topic in the industry, which is absolutely key to your success. And this is important for you to just get in the door at places, guys. So, this talk today is going to help, especially speakers, people that are interested in becoming a speaker, show up as their best versions of themselves. And I'm going to show you exactly what it takes. But not only am I going to show you what it takes, I'm going to show you my results. So, that's going to happen a little bit later. First, I want to start off with branding and positioning. And I see that people are showing up. Good morning. I want to acknowledge my friends here. Good morning, Andrew. Hello, hello. Good morning, Felix. So good to have you guys. Nicole, guys, this is amazing. Matthew, good morning. So many good friends today. So, let's start off with the branding that is required. So, again, this is someone's first impression of you when you apply to an event. Now, I want to also say that you don't have to have years of speaking experience to get the benefits of this discussion because literally I started my professional speaking career this year. Hello, Keith. So nice to have you today from the UK. And 6 months later, after delivering my first keynote address, I landed a TED Talk internationally. So you don't have to be a professional speaker for years and years and years to be able to do something like that. So, what I like to tell my clients that I work with is that branding is your elevator button to success in speaking. So, keep that analogy in mind. But I will go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. And I want to show you first what's involved in something called a celebrity speaker kit. I'll make that a little bit bigger. The celebrity speaker kit. So, first off, if you're a professional speaker, guess what? You need to be a celebrity, right? You need to have that brand recognition of a celebrity in order to be taken seriously and establish yourself as an authority in your field, in your niche. Period. It starts with branding. Branding is the first impression. So, Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, he's famously quoted as saying that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. But I have a spin on that. My spin is that your brand walks in the room before you do, right? So when you send an email, when you send a request, when you inquire, the first impression someone sees is your brand. And you need to look like a celebrity. You just do. It helps establish your credibility and authority. So the first page should be a picture of you, on stage. Guys, you've got to have proof, visual proof that you do the thing you say you do, period. That requires visual proof of you being on stage. Okay. So pictures in multiple different formats, teaching multiple different kinds of people, all aid in that credibility and establishment. So that's page one, right? Your name, what it is you do, who you are, what have you accomplished in so many words. Not a ton of information on page one. It's mainly this is who I am, right? And a picture of you speaking. Now it goes into a little bit of depth. So, what am I? I'm a best-selling author. I'm a keynote speaker, workshop facilitator, a leader, and a thought leader, right? So, this is something I want to be known for, thought leadership. Well, as a TED speaker, right, that establishes that sentence. That proves that thought leadership, right? So, it's all about saying what you do in a simplified way, but then having documentation and proof to back it up. It sounds simple, but I rarely interact with a client the first time on our first meeting who has a lot of these boxes checked off. So it's so important. Look at what I also have at the bottom, and it's not necessarily has to be on every page, but make it convenient for the person looking at your speaking collateral to know exactly how to contact you. Guess what? It's got my email, it's got my website, it's got my phone number, right? After that is a professional bio. Now, this follows a formula. The bio is a list of your accomplishments. What have you done? What are you doing? Right? So I talk about here how who I serve. I serve a lot of, let's say, Fortune 500 clients, conferences, right? Those type of things. So leadership conferences. So it allows the person that's viewing this marketing material to say, "Oh, I need a leadership speaker. This person would be a benefit." So you litter, pardon me, your bio page right here, your professionally written bio with optimized keywords that attract your target client. But then I also say a little bit of what I do. I teach people how-to strategies and practical application techniques. When a meeting planner and event organizer is looking at your marketing material, they are looking for somebody who's going to convey knowledge to their clients, to their audience, right? Not necessarily somebody who's just a motivational speaker. They want to know that somebody is capable of teaching and transferring knowledge. It's so important. So include words like that in your bio, right? But then also include your accomplishments. I list my credentials, where I went to school, certificates from University of Notre Dame, Cornell, master's degree, etc., right? But then I also have other things in here like my volunteer work. I'm a United States country chair for a women's leadership league, right? Again, that reaffirms the establishment of my positioning as a leader and as a leadership speaker, right? I have my number of newsletter subscribers in there, my podcast that I do, accomplishments like that. This is how a professionally written bio should be done, right? And that means you're going to have to spend some time in building up these collaterals, right? Building up these resources of pockets of presence online. That's ultimately what the digitization of your personal brand is pockets of personal presence online. And the more pockets that you build up, the greater the establishment of your authority, the increase of your credibility. What does that lead to, my friends? More money and more opportunities. More money, more opportunities. So key. Don't waste your time. Start with strategy, right? So this is a professionally written bio. Then every celebrity speaker kit has signature programs. This means you should have about 4 signature programs. It's okay to have 3, but I wouldn't take it more than 4. You want to be perceived as an expert. You want to be perceived as an authority. You're not perceived as an expert if you talk about aerospace engineering and you talk about leadership and you talk about personal transformation here and then something else over here, math, science. You're seen as an expert if you're very specific, right? Very specific. So 4 topics are great. And then you define them. A simple paragraph for each one. Doesn't have to be complicated. Short is fine. It's conciseness that matters. Not wordiness, not robusteness, conciseness and precision. And then you explain each of these topics in more detail. So what was one of the things that I mentioned in that bio that was important was what? How-to strategies and practical application. That's something you need to be teaching. Again, if you're a professional speaker, you're a conveyor of knowledge, right? So after this program, you will be able to 4 bullet points. Short, simple, easy, to the point. 4. Doesn't have to be 5. It doesn't have to be 6. That's not simple enough. Make it simple. And then you follow this same pattern throughout your speaker kit. Again, 4 bullet points for each one. So each topic, empathy-based leadership is one of mine. 4 takeaways. Connection-based leadership, that's another program that I offer. 4 takeaways. It's very easy to understand. It's not too much information. It's digestible. And it's easy for them to understand and see the value. Hello. That is so important. And guys, as I'm talking, keep any questions coming. Definitely that come in. We've got excellent presentation and just got started whipping up my espresso. Ooh, that sounds delightful. I kind of want an espresso. That sounds great. I also include this, and this is something that I haven't really seen a lot of speakers do. And let me tell you guys, again, your first impression is your brand, right? When you send marketing materials and collateral to someone else in the industry, they see your brand. But guess what? Your brand shouldn't look like anybody else's, and it should be personable and memorable and authentic to you, period. Right? So I always tell my speakers that I work with to include their story. and to be very authentic. Listen, this is the differentiating factor between you and everybody else who is applying to that conference is your story. Think about it. It's what makes you you. And it can pull on a heartstring. And if it pulls on a heartstring and an emotion with the person you're sending that note to, guess what? They're going to remember you. Guess what else they're going to do? They're going to trust you because you were the authentic one. Guess what else they'll do? They'll hire you, right? Opportunities turn into more opportunities, and abundance turns into more abundance. The only way someone can tell if they're making the correct buying decision when they book you for an event is to see your authenticity and to show up with as the best version of yourself through your branding and marketing. Okay? So I'm raw here. I'm telling you like it is. Listen, I went through extreme adversity in my life at times, right? I would be remiss if I did not include that somewhere in my speaker kit. Why? Because this is my differentiating factor. Guess what? I have overcome so many of life's obstacles. And regardless of literally almost any circumstance, I have been able to overcome. Tell me that wouldn't inspire your audience, because guess what? Meeting planners, event organizers, and coordinators, they are looking for their audience to be inspired. They want to make sure they're making the best purchasing decision by hiring you. The only way they can do that is if they know you're inspirational, that you are somebody that should be walking in their door. Guess what? That leads to more opportunities, more income, right? More testimonials. And look, again, I've got a picture of me on stage after delivering a keynote presentation. There's third-party validation there. It shows I'm a professional. You can see what I would look like if I was walking on your stage. And you want to hire me. Why? Because I have visual third-party validation, but then I also have third-party testimonials. I have recommendations from people that I've touched, businesses that I've worked with. And they're all connectable back to LinkedIn. So anybody at any point in time that's looking on here is, of course, going to go to my LinkedIn profile before they sign me on board, right? All of these recommendations are right on LinkedIn. They can cross-check anything. Again, it makes them feel good about hiring you and makes them feel like they are making the best hiring decision. Then after that, I've got media appearances. Now that I've established myself as a professional speaker, now that I've shown you my story, but also all of the accomplishments and accolades that I've received in my career so far, now I'm going to back all of this up with some really robust media appearances, which could be podcasts, it could be magazine covers, news features, press releases, TV appearances, and so forth. This could also include things you've co-authored, right? Perhaps a journal, if you were featured in a Forbes article, or if you were featured in Harvard Business Review, something like that. You would put that type of thing in your speaker kit as well. Again, anything that aids in your third-party credibility and establishes yourself as a leader, as somebody that they trust as an expert, put it in your speaker kit. So right here on top, my first 6 months as an entrepreneur, I was interviewed by NASDAQ. What an accomplishing beginning to my career as an entrepreneur, right? But this was a fireside chat, and it was really good because it was recorded on YouTube. It's on their YouTube channel. They have over 5,000 subscribers. But now I can use this in my speaker kit, and it shows third-party credibility from a major source, right? And ultimately, it was things like this that got me started as a speaker and got me really warmed up to the industry. And Global Speakers Talk, hello, is tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. And Paula as well, thank you for tuning in. Then I have, after that, some podcast appearances and different features that I've been on. I'm going to include things like my Forbes cover feature, a Los Angeles cover feature, and so forth. But, these can be formatted differently. It really just depends on the look and the style and your brand, right? Again, your brand is not identical to mine, they are different. And that's where brand strategy comes in, and really working with somebody that understands that strategy so that they can position you just like a piece of chess, right where you want to be in terms of your target audience. That's what it's all about. And that's what we do for our clients. Then after that, I have my degrees and my credentials, right? So I've been seen in the press. I have an established personal brand. There's lots of third-party credibility. I have my 4 speaking topics. I know what I'm going to talk about. There's no guesswork here, right? Nobody is going to hire you if they ask you, what are you going to talk about? And you say, well, I could talk about these 2 things or that one thing. No, it's I teach this thing, and that's it, right? They want somebody that is definitive, that's an expert. And the only way you're an expert is if you own that authority and you really have clarity on what you're going to talk about. So I have a mainstay headline. It's called As a Speaker, and steal this, write this down. I teach leadership strategies that unleash confidence. So if you're a leadership speaker like I am, you could say, I teach leadership strategies that amplify growth or potential or productivity, right? Or purpose. Whatever it is that you do that makes you that expert, you put that in there, and that's your headline. And that's eventually what you will be known for as a speaker. So again, mine is leadership strategies that unleash confidence. It's pretty memorable, right? And I can back that up because I'm a leadership speaker, and I also authored a best-selling book on confidence. That makes me synonymous with those words, and that's a good thing. After that, again, more contact information, more testimonials, layer it in there. Build so much third-party validation and so much authority that you are the undisputed person for this topic. And I'll show you proof of how this works as well in real life. I'm going to take you, once we're finished with this, to espeakers.com, and I will show you my profile that I have in there and show you exactly what it takes. This is literally just the beginning. So while this seems like a lot, trust me, this is just the beginning. More third-party validation, and now contact information. Follow me on social media. Again, there's all pictures of me teaching, right? This was me teaching a class at Remax Real Estate. And the class that I was teaching them was LinkedIn, personal branding, and social sales strategy. So it was a workshop. It was 4 hours, right? To teach Remax how to be the best positioned real estate team on LinkedIn. This can be you too, right? So this is a celebrity speaker kit. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But again, this is a great first step. Okay. You've got to have the establishment of your personal brand. You have to also have, an establishment online. Listen, what they're going to do before they decide they're going to hire you is they're going to look you up online. They're going to Google you, right? And you have 5 seconds to either show up as an expert in your field or 5 seconds to not get an opportunity based on someone's perception of you and your brand. So it's incredibly important But I will also go to my speakers site on espeakers.com so you can see another resource that I use to get into the industry. Okay, so here's espeakers.com. So espeakers.com is a platform that professional speakers can enter. They can create a profile. It's not a free platform, but it gets you into the door in front of people in a unique way, which is really important if you're a professional speaker, especially when you're first starting out and nobody's ever heard of you, right? So I use espeakers.com. I have all of my signature programs that we've already talked about in espeakers.com. But then I also have my celebrity speaker kit, marketing collateral, pictures of me in the press, my speaker highlight reel, right? There's a lot that goes into this. But I just wanted to show you what's possible. Okay. Again, I have been a professional speaker for less than 1 year. I've landed a TED Talk, and this is where I rank in my industry. So I'm listed as an inspirational speaker. I'm ranked second out of 5,202. So this means that the number one bookable topic on this website, espeakers.com, I'm ranked second. Leadership, 28th out of over 7,000 people. And that number is only going to continue to rise. I promise you. Thought leadership, third of 535. Women in leadership, 6. Confidence, I'm ranked first. Personal branding, I'm ranked first. So what would happen if there was me who charges a little bit more for branding than somebody else? Well, they're going to see the value because they see all this third-party validation. They see the press features. They have seen me on the news. They've seen a lot of third-party credibility. So they will be comfortable paying, in most cases, if they're the buyer for you, a little bit extra to get someone who seems like the foremost expert in that topic, right? So I'm ranked 1. And again, this can happen for anyone. But I want to show you something that's even more exciting. I have been on this website for about 45 days now. And I really wasn't sure how it would go. I didn't know what to expect, right? But over the weekend, this magical thing happened. I got picked up by 23 speaking bureaus. Now, I got picked up by 23 speaking bureaus because I have an establishment of a personal brand. When I was on a call with espeakers.com yesterday, it was a group call, and there were people from all over the world on this call, speakers showing up, and they weren't getting any traction from the profile. And I looked at a few of their profiles, and I could immediately tell why. Lacking third-party validation and credibility, missing marketing collaterals and materials, lack of a personal brand, lack of social media, right? All of these different things were inhibiting their growth. And these are people that have been in the industry for a lot longer than I have, and they weren't having success. So if I did this, you guys can do this too. Here's all of the bureaus that are currently listing me. I will show you that because this is just so amazing. These are all of the bureaus that are currently listing me. And then I have one pulled up as well. I'll show you that on another screen so that you can see what my profile looks like listed under a Speakers Bureau's website. So here's Blackwood Talent and Entertainment Speakers Bureau, and here I am, right? And I'm positioning myself a little bit higher than some people, but I have everything filled out. Everything is maximized. My fees are in there. My calendar's up to date. My branding and marketing collateral are head and shoulders. above most of my competition, if not any of my competition, and I'm just getting started. And this is how it can be. You don't have to waste years of your time guessing and trying to figure it out. Again, it's best to work with somebody who has gone through it and done it and is doing it, right? And I know that by the time my TED Talk goes through, I know that's going to go viral. I just have a good feeling about it. What that's going to also do is position me higher in the industry. And this is how you can go from speaking for free to speaking and making a lot of money very quickly in the industry by positioning yourself correctly with strategy from the get-go, right from the start. Okay? And if you do that, and if you take the time to put these things in place, you will have much better success in a much shorter amount of time. But it starts today. It starts today with your actions right now. If this is something that you are truly interested in, let me know, because I only work with a very few amount of coaching clients one-on-one, very few. It's usually less than 3 at a time. And I do this because speaking is a focus for me, right? My goal this year was to write a book, and that positioned me for speaking. Now my goal is to complete my TED Talk, have that go viral, and position me for something else. So I spend a lot of time speaking, and I don't have a lot of time with one-on-one coaching clients. However, if that is something that you are interested in getting into, let me know, because I will be taking just 2 more people on for the rest of the year until I finish this TED Talk. That's going to be one of my main focuses. So let me know if that is something that you're interested in. I'm not interested in working with somebody that wants their goals next year or in 2 years. I'm interested in people that want their goals right now, honestly, and are willing to put in the action and the effort in order to achieve those results. So if you want your goals, if you want to get into the industry in 2 years or 5 years, or want to become an expert in 10 years or whatever, I'm probably not the best coach for you, because I want you to have success, as much success immediately and as soon as possible. Again, what I'm interested in helping my clients with is giving them that elevator button. So the choice is yours, but this is an upfront investment that honestly could change your life. A keynote, just imagine this for just a moment. Just imagine delivering a virtual presentation for an hour and making $1,500 to $3,000. Just imagine walking on stage and delivering a keynote presentation and making $5,000, $10,000 for an hour. Imagine doing a workshop at an organization, a corporate organization, and making 25,000. That is what's possible when you get into speaking. But don't expect it to happen overnight without putting any work and action into it. It's going to require a lot of branding and marketing. It's going to require you to show up in a different way online. Something that is totally different, maybe even from what you're doing now. But this is an investment. So I'm not saying you can't speak without this, but you will speak for free without this. I will say that. And you'll speak for free for a long time. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of really good speakers have to speak for free and not charge what they're worth, hundreds of dollars compared to thousands of dollars, just because of their branding and marketing or positioning. So I appreciate everyone who tuned in today. Listen, if this is something that you are serious about, let me know. Send me a direct message. Or if you know somebody who is interested in speaking, interested in landing a TED Talk, interested in landing major conferences, reach out to me. This is what I do, and this is who I serve. Best-selling authors, thought leaders, subject matter experts, and purpose-driven visionaries. I help them get on stage and show up as the best versions of themselves through branding. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in today, and I will see you on the next episode.